Who remembers the BJ and Bill show all those years ago on WOLZ? Well, many have said they missed the show, and guess what? They're back. Welcome to the BJ and Bill podcast.
Welcome to BJ and Bill, the podcast. This already episode 44. You know, we're almost as old as, Tom Brady now.
I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, I guess we should plan a big party or something when we get up to we start crossing our ages in podcast numbers or something like that. That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be very cool.
We can have a party.
At least.
And of course, I always want to mention that we are a part of the Podcast Playground Network, my friends.
That's correct. And your thoughts, your comments, your wonderful, lavish praise is always appreciated with a 5-star review wherever you happen to get your podcast. So please do that. Please feel free to share it amongst your friends. And, you can always visit us on our Facebook page as well at BJ and Bill Podcast on the Facebook page, or you can even email us directly at bjandbillpodcast@gmail.com. So there, we've covered all our bases. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Of course, we record this on a Monday.
Yes.
So this is the 3rd. Tomorrow will be the 4th of July. So we'll both be staying up late because people in the neighborhood probably will be blowing off fireworks.
Probably. We're pissing off dogs and others everywhere.
Like I said, we had a 55 plus community before this one.
Right.
And it was kind of nice because we would not hear fireworks on the 4th of July, New Year's Eve. It just was kind of like
really?
I think it was like a fireworks free neighborhood. I don't know. At least didn't hear very much, but this one already. Boom booms are beginning.
Yes. And I was out on my patio last night having some a little late night adult beverage. And yes, I was hearing some fireworks in the back. Didn't see anything, but heard some of the background. Absolutely. So yeah, and tonight and then tomorrow night, both probably will be equally busy.
And of course, where we live, we hear fireworks every night at about 9:20.
Yeah, fireworks every night. Oh, are you close enough to hear the Disney fireworks? I just
about 9:20 every night. If you listen carefully, you hear boom, boom.
That's it's not crazy loud, right? So it's
not crazy loud. No.
Yeah, well, that's cool because when they close the park, they have the fireworks every night. Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, not on the back of our house, unfortunately, but there are places in the neighborhood where you can see the fireworks quite well.
Awesome. That'd be cool. So you're obviously very close to the mouse house there. Yeah.
Yeah. As the bird flies, we're really close.
As the bird flies.
As the roads we have to take, we're about 25 minutes away.
Well, that's as close as you want to be with the traffic in the neighborhood and all of that. I'm sure.
And I have no idea what our road will be like when it opens.
Right.
But the road that our neighborhood is on, eventually, like in the next year or two, it will be a straight shot to Disney. So I'm thinking the road that we are on, you have to go outside, of course, the neighborhood, and then the road you get on, it's called Sawgrass Bay. I believe it's going to get quite busy when they open that road because it's like one of the thoroughways that will go directly to the mouse house.
And you volunteered for that.
Well, my wife and daughter are quite excited for it.
What's that?
The wife and daughter are excited for it.
Well, sure, because they're big. Well, you're a Disney fan too, and that's okay. I get it. So makes it that much easier.
They're like a electric fan. I'm more like, like rattle the paper and, kind of cool.
You're a fan yourself with your hand kind of fan. So, but they're big electric, like high powered fans.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's okay. I got it. That's fine. That's good for them. I am for reasons unknown to me. And I've mentioned this on past programs. I've mentioned this before that yours truly has, taken up a little part-time gig just to make some beer money. And, or in the case, you see the bottle. Can you see the bottle on the table behind me way back there?
Oh, what is that?
It was bourbon.
It was
bourbon. And it's the
It does
first
look
time.
empty.
It's the first time in forever that I can remember emptying a bottle of spirits on my own, which I did. Not all at once, just the occasional evening adult beverage. So anyway, where was I going with this? Oh, my part-time gig where I earn money to make the bottles of bourbon and other adult beverages and everything else, and ribeye steaks, my favorite. I'm delivering pizza for Domino's, and for reasons that are totally unclear to me, and I need to put my hands around the neck of my young manager, he has me working every day this week. Tomorrow, thankfully, I'm off today. I'm working 4th of July. I'm working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm like, seriously, dude, I'm 66 years old. You got teenagers working for you. I can't be working these kind of, because whatever. So I guess he's either really shorthanded or he's expecting there to be some really serious business for the 4th of July week. And I hope he's right. So, because if I'm busy, I'm fine.
Yes, probably a pretty good
week.
Or delivering pizza will be,
tomorrow should be. Yeah.
I almost said New Year's Day, but no, not New Year's Day.
No.
4th of July. And again, this will drop on Wednesday. So 4th of July will be over.
Right. So by the time you're hearing this, I will already be 2 days into a pretty heavy duty work week. So check in with me next week to see if I'm, still around, still alive and kicking, as they say.
Well,
so I should be.
As you do all that hard work, I hate to tell you, but my anniversary is coming up on the 7th.
Your anniversary.
Don't ask me how many years because I'll get in trouble. All I know is it's a hell of a bunch.
Right. It's a lot. It's a big number. Yeah, it's a big number.
It's so big, I can't even count that high. That's why I don't know.
Which is interesting because you count to 44 podcast episodes just fine. And boy, that could be your 44th anniversary too. I mean, no, you haven't been.
No, it's like 37.
Wow.
38.
Wow. And there's no subtle way to find that out, is there? There's no way to kind of massage that question to your wife to kind of, get some information. Because, you can do that with friends, like, oh, when's so-and-so's birthday? When's her, I do that all the time with my niece and my nephew. I never remember birthdays. So I always ask the other one. I'll, if I'm talking to my niece, I'll say, well, when's your brother's birthday again? And I'll put that in my calendar and then I'll forget it. And then, vice versa. But anniversaries, yeah, you're, I hate to say it this way, but you're pretty well screwed with that. So, yeah.
I hate to tell you this, though.
Uh-oh.
But we were talking to a friend on the phone the other day.
Yes.
Because I was getting ready to tell you, our plans for the anniversary. But, I was telling this friend about our plans for the anniversary.
Right.
And of course, he asked the question that most people ask when you mention an anniversary.
Which one? How many?
And I look at my wife. She looks at me. I go, what is it? 36, 37? She goes, I think 38. It might be 37. It could even be 39. I go,
she didn't remember.
He didn't even know.
Wow.
So
well, that's good. That kind of gets you off the hook a little bit then.
So basically we said a hell of a lot.
Hell of a lot. Yeah.
Hell of a lot of years.
But that's good that she didn't remember. So she couldn't slam you because you didn't remember, because she didn't remember. So that's a good thing.
I know it was very good. I thought, oh my God, I'm saved.
Yeah. Mine was easy because mine was I got married in 1980. Easy to remember the number.
I think we got married. I don't know. I'm not even going to take a guess.
BJ Odom, obviously you are doing something right to be married all these years to the same woman. So either she can put up with one hell of a lot of, what from you. No, that's pretty much it. She can put up with a lot from you.
Yeah, she is basically a saint.
Yes, she is. She is a saint. Yes. Anybody
now
that can
getting
put up
to
with
my
you for
big
that many
anniversary
years.
plans.
What's that?
Now getting to the big anniversary plans.
Tell me.
We're going to, where one of your lady friends that you used to have lives. We're going to Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Yes.
We're actually going to stay on Jacksonville Beach.
Very nice.
Going to stay.
I've been there. I think I like I think I like Fernandina better. Kind of Fernandina Beach, kind of old school Florida beach. Very nice. But
okay.
Both
We're going to be right down by the Jacksonville Pier.
Nice. Very nice. So
but I went to look, for hotel rooms.
yes.
And basically, 4th of July is coming up before the anniversary.
Yes.
The room rate was doubled on the 4th of July. Our actual anniversary is the 7th, so that'll be Friday.
Okay.
So I was thinking, well, maybe we should stay Friday into Saturday morning.
Sure.
But 4th of July and Friday night were double what Wednesday and Thursday nights are.
Wow.
So we're going to stay Wednesday and Thursday night, and we'll be celebrating our anniversary at Buc-ee's on the way home.
Buc-ee's. How many people, begging the question, because it happens at like McDonald's all the time. How many people have been married at Buc-ee's? Because
I don't know. I bet you a few, though.
I'll bet you out there by gas pump number 125 or whatever. Yeah, that would be fun. So yeah, you should definitely go to Buc-ee's and you should definitely take some pictures, That would be cute. I mean, that would be really sharp if you were both like dressed up or something like that, standing there in front of the brisket. That'd be great.
My wife might be doing that because she is one of those people that likes to dress up.
Aha. Okay.
So,
Good.
she could be dressed up, not dressed up. I mean, like weird hats and antennas and
Sure.
all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. I've seen her like mouse ears and all that stuff. Sure,
Light up necklaces. It could be.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be great. No, you should definitely, you definitely want to share some of those pictures, on the page, on the Facebook podcast page there and all that. So
Well,
yeah,
our plan is definitely on the way there. And maybe this would be the best thing to do. But I hear from everybody because there's two over there. There's one by St. Augustine.
Yes.
And there's one by Daytona.
Yes.
And everybody says the one by Daytona is better than the one
at St. Augustine.
But our plan is on the way there, we're going to stop at the one in Daytona.
Cool.
Going to stop at the one in St. Augustine on the way back just to see if there's a
two
difference.
Buc-ee's run.
Yeah.
Well, plans are moving ahead for our Buc-ee's here in Ocala. I know all of I've seen on the news, all the zoning has been approved. As far as I know, I think it has. And so they are moving ahead. So the Buc-ee's Ocala location coming soon to I-75.
And they also say that will be the largest Buc-ee's ever so far.
Really? The one right here? Because
the one coming to Ocala will be the largest Buc-ee's. Now, right now, I believe that the largest one right now, they just built right outside, Gatlinburg and
Sevierville.
All that
I said
area.
that right? Is that how you say that? Sevierville?
Yeah, Sevierville.
Yeah. Yes, I saw that. I think I'm on the Buc-ee's Facebook page, or I think I'm a friend or something like that, because I've been getting notices from them of that. And yes, you're right. That is now currently the biggest one. But hey, just until they build the next one. Ocala's
going to knock them off.
Huh?
Ocala's going to knock them off.
We're in the race. We're in it to win it, baby. In it to win it. So
it's surprising with them having, two now in Florida on 95 and one on 75.
Right.
I would think the next one, if they are very smart with their plan, but I don't know, maybe it doesn't get enough like highway traffic, but it is a busy thoroughway.
What's that?
Somewhere on I-4 right around Disney, but maybe finding that much property might be another problem too.
I was thinking, as you were saying that, I'm thinking, along I-4. And I had the exact same thought. Where is there enough space? I mean, because basically you're building like two Walmarts. I mean, the Buc-ee's itself is the size of a Walmart, but the parking lot with the gas pumps is humongous. I mean, it's like a sports parking lot somewhere, like a football stadium parking lot. So yeah, you would need a lot. And then you have to have it near. Well, it doesn't have to be near a highway exit. Heck, they could build a highway exit, but yeah, it would have to be near an exit somewhere that you could put in some roadways and stuff like that. That's a tough call. Yeah, I don't know I-4 as well as you do, but I can't imagine where it would go.
I mean, you could definitely do it towards like Lakeland and Plant City.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it might be kind of difficult to do it in the Disney area around I-4.
I could see one in our old neighborhood, somewhere south of Tampa Bay along I-75, somewhere
now, I don't
between
want to
Tampa.
be a spoiler here.
Uh-oh.
But here's what I think about that. When to go, I mean, of course, obviously to go to Key West, you have to be going to Key West.
Sure.
But to be going to Fort Myers, Naples, that's almost, unless you're going to the Keys,
Mm-hmm.
that's like the end of the United
End of the
States.
line. End of the line. Yes.
And I mean, it gets a lot of traffic. There's a lot of people, don't get me wrong, in Southwest Florida. And I think you'd have regulars that might go out there, but I don't think you have a lot of the traffic, because I think they're basically, I mean, I don't want to call them that, but they're like a truck stop for cars and trucks.
Oh, yeah. No, there's no doubt about that. They are.
They have become a destination, though, more than anything else, I believe.
So you're right. They are looking for kind of that passing through traffic kind of thing in high numbers, which along I-95 south of Jacksonville, I mean, oh my God, right? That's all it is. So yeah, I get it. I understand. You're right. That's kind of Southwest Florida would be cool, but it's probably not what they're looking for. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people travel through that area.
Right.
They
now,
travel
wait a minute.
to the area.
But they just did one in Sevierville?
Yeah, but that's another vacation area.
Well, and
it
Fort
is
Myers,
on,
Naples,
and it
Sarasota,
is not in Sevierville. It's actually, it would probably be Kodak. I know the area a little bit because, we have friends there and I go there a lot.
Right.
But actually out by, I think the highway is 40 out there. It's 40 or 20.
You can
Whatever
tell
the
me
big,
anything I wouldn't
the
know.
big U.S. highway is right out of, Sevierville and all that.
Okay.
Is in Kodak.
Don't make me pull up
is.
Google Maps. Don't make me pull up the maps.
Yeah, see if it's 20. I think it's 40.
All right, here we go. Keep talking.
But, that, would be a thoroughway that people would be going by and not necessarily going to Dollywood or to Gatlinburg, but still where it is, it's still going to be a 30 to 45 minute ride.
Right.
Before you'd get, obviously, to Gatlinburg.
Right. Well,
Sevierville now is a little closer.
BJ Odom, you are correct. It is I-40 about, not even 20 miles east of Knoxville.
Yeah.
So then you got to go to Sevierville. You get off at Kodak. Again, you were right. Boy, you got this down, boy. And Route 66 south to Sevierville, and then south of that to Pigeon Forge, and south of that to Gatlinburg. So there you go. You're all over this.
If I wasn't allergic to cold weather, I would probably, although it'd be rough to because my kids are in this area.
Right.
But I would love to move to like Sevierville or Pigeon Forge.
I've never been there. Is it pretty? Is it a good looking place?
It's not beautiful. Only, well, it's not as bad as I-4 in Disney World, but the main thoroughway that goes through, like at 66 Road, you just said,
right?
That goes, all the way, from Pigeon Forge to Gatlinburg and then Sevierville first, and Kodak when you get off the road.
Yeah,
that highway is like, and I want to compare it to the old days because things have changed in Orlando. I-Drive used to be like the happening place.
Yeah.
And then, of course, everything kind of moved more towards Disney and Universal. But it used to take you to go down the road for I-Drive, on a Saturday night.
Right.
It'd take you an hour to go from one end to the other.
Yes, it does.
Because the traffic was so bad.
Yes.
That main thoroughway in is worse than I-Drive used to be.
Really?
I mean, it just goes, especially in the summertime when people are vacationing.
Right.
And, that's a big vacation spot. Right. I think it might even be a bigger vacation spot sometimes than Orlando in the summertime. I don't know. But it is a big vacation spot. And what I like about it, and I wish Orlando would kind of follow suit, but they haven't yet. They kind of started, but then it's not really, there's a few dinner theaters, in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to Sevierville, there's probably, I'm thinking, and I haven't been there for a few years, there's at least 8 to 10 theaters.
Wow.
And, well, you've got the big ones. You got the Comedy Barn.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the Gatlinburg. I mean, not the Gatlinburg, but the Hatfield McCoys.
Right.
You got 2 or 3 music theaters, I know. And then you got it's just, that main thoroughway has, there's theaters all over that town.
But so I'm guessing, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing that's because it's not quite as corporate as Orlando is. Orlando, between Disney, SeaWorld, Universal, they got this, they're like everywhere, and everybody's attracted to those big, huge attractions, as opposed to, like you said, Gatlinburg, Sevierville, and all that, maybe not quite yet, and hopefully it stays. So it's not so much one big corporation running things. There's room for smaller, independent businesses, like you said, like the dinner theaters and the comedy.
Yeah, because there's like Dollywood.
Like yeah, Dollywood. Yeah,
which is like your theme park,
right?
But then when you go up the main thoroughway, they've got like, there's country music theaters. There's a gospel theater. There's a theater or two that has magic shows.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the Comedy Barn that does magic, juggling, music. They do it all at the Comedy Barn.
Right up your alley.
And the Hatfield McCoy is kind of the same thing. In fact, speaking of that, I one time applied. I didn't get in, unfortunately. Didn't even get the audition, but I sent the tape.
Right.
The videotape to the Comedy Barn. Just if I would have gotten in, I would have definitely moved there, because this was probably, 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Wow.
That I applied for there.
So do they do do they do the same show every night, 365?
They have different performers.
Right.
So you may see and all the acts are basically, it's a variety show.
Right.
Comedy, music,
right.
Dancing, and you might see like the main dancers and that there, sporadically through the show.
Mm-hmm.
But like you may see a comedian come out, there's a juggler. He comes out and does like a 5 to maybe 4 or 5, 6 minute routine.
Right.
Then you see a magician, or you see it's like, boom, 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 boom. You might do if you do a magical illusion, but you do it comically, like what I do, comedy magic.
Right.
You'd probably do 2 per show. Like you do like a 3 or 4 minute bit, then it's always moving.
Oh, okay.
But you might do like 2 bits per show. Night. But then if you're off, and then obviously there's got to be a schedule of how everything works.
Oh, sure.
But if the one juggler's off, then where his spots are, there's probably maybe a floating act. There's the 10 basic acts. Right. There's a floating act. If on Tuesday nights or whatever the juggler has off, then they take that Tuesday night spot. Wednesday night, if this. So yeah, but it is a neat show. Cool. It's probably my favorite show in Gatlinburg.
And dinner around that or before that.
Dinner.
Yeah.
I guess it's not. I guess that would be in Sevierville though.
Right.
Comedy Barn is actually in Sevierville, but I call that Sevierville.
Right.
Gatlinburg. All
the same.
Pigeon Forge. Yeah. To me, it's all one area, kind of like Fort Myers or Southwest Florida.
Yeah.
You got Cape Coral.
Yep.
You got Fort Myers. It's all the same.
Kind of. So what you're saying, it's kind of like our old friends. One of my favorite places in Southwest Florida, the Broadway Palm Dinner Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you go for dinner and then there's a show. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love that place. That was awesome. I hope they're okay. I know they got hit hard by the hurricane.
As far as I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I will say this too, our main man, Jay.
Yes, Jay.
I don't think he's doing it anymore, because I think around COVID, he got out of there. I'm not for sure. So Jay, I know you listen to every show for quality control. But if Jay hears this, I want to tell him that I know he used to, and he may still now and again, but I think my son keeps him busy enough that he doesn't. Right. But he actually was a bit player where he would do, in the ensemble, and then he would help, be a waiter. So he worked at the Brunch because that's how that worked.
Very cool. Yeah, very cool. I will hear from him. I don't know if you will hear from Jay. I will hear from Jay. I'm on his text list because if I mess something up on the show, I hear about it. So it's okay.
Oh, okay.
It's all good.
Oh, by the way, last week, at least, I don't know if everybody got it, but I know we tried something different. So when the commercials drop.
Oh, yeah.
Because we don't have a whole lot of, we have a little bit of leeway on that, but they drop so smoothly, at least when I listened to last week's episode.
Bill Stevens at the editing. Bill Stevens at the editing booth, working hard. Working hard for you folks out there, for all of you out there. Don't you forget it. So that's good. Okay, so pretty much we've covered all the Pigeon Forge stuff. Great. So there you go. Yeah. So anyway, what you're saying is,
I will actually come up and meet you when Buc-ee's opens. I'll let him be open for a few weeks, maybe, so it won't be too hectic. But
I mean, that'll probably still be a year, right? Before they open. I mean, unless they move at the speed of light, they're probably a year away from grand opening on that.
Oh, okay.
But
you got time. You may be booed by then.
Brother, I could be anywhere. If you tell me Gatlinburg is beautiful, I might have to find out.
I think you need to go there on vacation.
I'm open to that.
Now, are you a show person? Do you enjoy?
Well, yeah, I could be. We were talking about the dinner theater thing. We did the last relationship I was in. We used to go to Orlando now and then. She had business conferences and stuff like that, so we kind of mixed business and pleasure. We actually found a dinner theater. I think it was on I-Drive, but north of what's that cross? Sand Hill. That's the crossing road there. Sand Hill or Sand Lake or something. I don't know.
Sand Lake.
It was kind of north. It wasn't in the really, really busy part of I-Drive. It was on a little older, like north of that. Anyway, we found a little dinner theater that did a nice dinner and then kind of a musical throwback kind of night at the museum kind of a thing where the wax figures of Michael Jackson would come to life and Elvis and all that. And it was cute. It was very cute. And we had the place. I mean, I think it was a weeknight, so I mean, I'm sure there were less than 50 people in the crowd. It was not a big night, but they had a nice dinner and they did a really nice show. And then, they came out and said hi at the end and, shook hands and took pictures. It was very nice. It really was. It was very nice. So anyway,
I shouldn't say that there's no shows in Orlando because I know they're on I-Drive. There's still like 3 or 4 that are open. They have the Pirates show. And then I forget what the other one is down the road a little bit more. So they do have some shows. Yeah. Now, Dolly used to have a place in Orlando, but she's closed that and she left probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Did not know that. Know that. Making too much money at Dollywood. Why worry about Orlando? So
I own Pigeon Forge. That's where I'll just stay.
I'll just way more beautiful and don't have to worry about those crazy. Well, you do have to worry about crazy tourists, but at least you can, when you go to your house, out in the woods, out on the mountain somewhere, behind the gates, you got your own place, which is nice. Yeah. So I get it. That's cool. That's awesome.
Well, as we mentioned, 4th of July, just getting over with.
Yep.
So I'm going to ask you, see how many you can name and see if you can get them in any type of order. What are the top 5 chips? Are you a chip person?
Chip? You mean like computer chip?
Potato chip.
Potato chip. Top 5. You mean like brand names?
Flavors.
Wow. Well, I won't get them in order. Does the regular, normal, not flavored one count as a flavor?
Number 1
is that's number 1.
That's number 1.
Okay. So then I'm going to say like salt and vinegar.
Salt and vinegar, number 4. You're
pretty
going
good.
On a roll.
I am. Cheddar cheese.
Wah,
wah, wah.
Not in the top 5.
Wow, give me one of them. Give me a clue here. Hot jalapeno.
Yep, spicy like jalapeno or hot sauce.
Hot sauce. Okay, jalapeno. Which is what number? Where do they fall on?
Number 3.
They're number 3. Okay.
Number 2 is my favorite.
No. Okay. Wait. Your favorite. Biscuits and gravy? What?
No, chips. chips.
Oh, you mean there's not a biscuit and gravy flavored chip? Okay, what?
Lay's does do different flavors every
They
now
do.
and then.
I know.
They may have done that in the past. I don't know.
What kind? What is it?
Barbecue is mine.
Barbecue. Why didn't I think of that? That's so obvious.
And then number 5, I also enjoy number 5 also.
Yes.
Sour cream and onion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, see, I admit that I'm probably pretty normal. Well, normal. I'm pretty boring when it comes to, although I do like the kettle corn, not kettle corn, the kettle cooked ones better.
Yeah,
But,
my
of
wife
course,
likes those too.
Yeah, they're the grease content is off the chart there, so it's probably heart attack in a bag. But I don't know that. I'm just saying. But yes, the other one would have been definitely right up there for me. Absolutely, the sour cream onion ones.
You
Yum,
have
yum,
Hulu?
yum.
I think it was on Hulu. See, that's what I hate. You have all these streaming services,
You have all these streaming services.
and I think it was Hulu, but I watched it over the weekend, thinking,
Yeah.
it was pretty interesting because it is a true story. The hot and spicy, Frito-Lay.
I saw the promo for that. I saw the promo. I don't have Hulu, but I saw the advertisement somewhere. Yes.
Yes, so I saw that over the weekend. And I don't know, all those movies that are based on a true story,
Right.
they all fudge just a little bit, so you don't know exactly what's the truth and what's not the truth.
Some of them fudge a lot. Yes.
Yeah, because I know that the story, what's the dolphin that used to be in Clearwater?
Oh, yeah. It's summer. Was that?
Yeah, summer, and then I think it was another one, winter.
Winter. Yes. Summer and winter. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
the one that
was-
had no tail and they gave it a prosthetic tail.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was made into a movie.
Yes, it was.
And you could tell they exaggerated quite a bit on that, but still, nonetheless, the
movie.
story was good.
Never saw the movie, but I'll take your word for it. So anyway, back to the chip thing. Love them.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Basically, it was about a gentleman who came from Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and the movie portrayed him as kind of like a hood guy, kind of like a bad guy,
Right.
but he really loved his wife, and he had 2 children.
Right.
So he wanted to get out of the,
Get out of the crime business.
get out of the crime business and try to find a real job.
Cool.
So he finally, and he had to fudge because it was hard for him to get, but he got a janitor's job at Frito-Lay.
Oh.
And I guess he liked mechanics. So I shouldn't give up too much of the show, but he liked mechanics. He wanted to learn more about the mechanic, but he always stayed a janitor.
Right.
But he had this idea to make this hot chip that,
Uh-huh.
his people would enjoy.
Uh-huh.
And they need to market to the, Hispanic community because it's a big community here in America.
Yes.
And they didn't really reach out to them. And he goes, you need to make food for my people. And so he came up with the recipe, and he went one day, just as a fluke, because he watched just watched the movie, but
Just watch the movie. Okay.
he went to the higher ups.
Yes.
He didn't go like through the middlemen because, to him,
Right.
he was like the bottom. Nobody wanted to talk to him.
Right.
So he himself called the CEO and said, hey, I have an idea.
Wow.
And the CEO said, that's not a bad idea. And of
Wow.
course, there's a lot that goes along with it.
Yeah, of
That's why you
course.
need to watch the movie.
Yeah.
But it was pretty interesting.
Well, what a great idea. I mean, what a great, way to use your head. And B, congrats to the CEO who actually took the call from his janitor.
And what's funny, every time he made the call, which this was, as I said, movies kind of
Right.
exaggerate things. So every time he made the call or received the call, he was in the janitor's office at the Frito-Lay plant where he worked. And he'd pick it up and there would be the CEO. Hey, is Richard there? Oh, that's me. Well, I think that part was maybe
maybe fudged
a little embellished there.
a little embellished just for movies, but still good story. And you're right. So many good products never come from the people whose job it is to think of those things. It comes from people out on the street going, hey, have you ever thought of this? And, but yeah, so good for them to be able to see that and to Good manager. That's a good boss. That's a good owner, whatever it is.
And what was pretty cool, and I like all these movies that are like this, they're movies, but there are real people that are involved.
Right.
So at the end of the movie, they always show the real people.
Oh, cool.
It showed him and his wife and his 2 kids.
Cool.
As a younger version, and then as today, and he's now retired after, I think it was 43 years with Frito-Lay. Good story.
Awesome. I'll have to look it up. Kind of like, it's a very different story, but like you said, a real story, kind of, based on a true story, kind of like that new one with Air, about the Air Jordan sneakers.
Oh yeah, that's a good
story. I will watch that when it comes around too. So that, I think
that's on Prime.
Yes, and I have Prime, so I can watch that. So I have a couple of streaming services for sure.
You need to watch that one then.
I will. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking about fun foods. I love that. So, all right, it's time for a quick break. So go get yourself your chip of choice, or at least refill your coffee, and we will be right back. Welcome back. I'm Bill Stevens. That is the one and only BJ Odom, star of stage, screen, and dinner theaters everywhere. If you'd like to, just made that up. It's based on a true story. If you would like to reach out to us, please feel free to get in touch at BJ and Bill Podcast. Remember to spell the and, BJ and Bill Podcast at gmail.com. Look us up on Facebook, BJ and Bill Podcast, in your Facebook groups. And most importantly, please feel free to like, comment, and share on this podcast with a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. There you go.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Hey,
I was just thinking about what's that?
I was just gonna say, I hope everybody enjoyed their 4th of July holiday weekend. It's dropping on a Wednesday.
That's right. So hope you were safe. I saw a great little meme post on Facebook somewhere over the weekend. So of course this drops on a Sunday. We're recording on a Monday. On Wednesday. We're recording on Monday. Over the weekend, I saw a meme on Facebook that said, some people, wait a minute, let me get it right, because it was like for Tuesday. It says, some people will wake up Monday morning not knowing that this is their last week to have all 10 fingers. So I hope you were all careful out there, because as this podcast hits the airwaves, it's past 4th of July. So I hope and trust that you were all safe and took care of your friends and loved ones out there with that, whatever fireworks you may have enjoyed for the weekend.
I actually saw a video
on
Facebook, which was it shouldn't have been humorous, but it was.
Oh.
So someone is lighting off fireworks, the kind that go up in the air, and
yes. Yes.
Well, let's just say they didn't go in the air.
Aha.
And so people scattered, because, you can tell it's somebody's backyard, and there's probably 20 or 30 people that come over, to the neighborhood, to watch the fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
And so they kind of went into the people. So you saw the people scattering as they were heading towards the people, and the flames were coming out and everything.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, one of the sparks must have sparked where the fireworks were sitting. Of course, because they find them that way. They're programmed to do that. And so they all started going off. And before the thing was over, it actually hit a car, and the car caught. It was quite the mess. Let's just say that. Wow. So people, I hope you were safe over the 4th of July weekend. Yes. Maybe you want to leave the fireworks to the professional. Well, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Just be safe out there. That's all I'm going to say. And it's interesting, because I was remembering that, of course, now we weren't doing the podcast a year ago, because we're only on episode 44. So that's 44 weeks or whatever. But a year ago, I was actually in Georgia, cat sitting for a lady friend who was traveling, and their neighborhood had, like your neighborhood, had some construction spots and some big open fields and stuff like that. So somebody brought their pickup truck full of fireworks out there, and we enjoyed fireworks that evening.
And yeah, it was quite the show. It went, and right in front of you. I mean, it was, but yeah, thankfully, nothing crazy happened or anything like that. We were safe.
Some of these
and
things
we were
they
all...
sell now.
What's that?
I don't even believe they sell them. They're that, big and
mean?
extravagant.
What do you mean?
Some of the fireworks they sell these days to like
yeah.
layman people.
Oh yeah.
Who aren't professionals.
No.
They are big boom booms. I don't know if you should just sell those to any Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes in. Hey, what does that one do?
Right.
Oh, you better watch
this. Watch me now. Hold my beer. So, yes, and I will admit that I know next to nothing about the fireworks business, but it's got to be expensive. I mean, you could probably go through a couple of $100 worth of fireworks in an evening without even breaking a sweat. I mean, have you looked at prices? Do you know? Because I'm just talking off the top of my head. I have no idea.
No, I don't know.
Maybe I'll just stop in and see what they cost one of these days.
When I was a kid or when I was a young adult, whatever, probably both, like teenager, young 20s.
Sure.
The big thing that we would get was bottle rockets.
Yes.
They wouldn't explode, but they'd up in the air.
Yes.
That's about as big a boom that we could buy in the M80 firecrackers if you really got lucky. And you had to find someone in the underground to even buy those.
Yes. I remember both. And yes, that we did the same thing, the bottle rockets with the little stick attached to them, and you'd light the bottom and boom, they'd go off.
Yeah, that was
small time.
That's all you were going to do in your backyard back then.
That's it. That's all you could do, because they just weren't. Well, I guess they've changed laws over the years. Like you said, what is it? If you used it for agricultural uses or something, you said last week, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, it originally used to be for agricultural purposes only. But then I read, that they
for scaring crows,
that they'd passed a law that on the New Year's, what was it? Yeah, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day,
July. Yep,
they were legal, and they're legal on the 4th of July.
Right.
Any other time they're not legal.
Right.
Which is, hey, they were going off in our neighborhood the other night. That was not the 4th of July, people.
Same in mine. Like I said, I didn't see him, but I sure as heck heard him all around me last night, which would have been Sunday night as we record this. Yes. Yeah. I don't think anybody called the cops.
Too, my son goes out and spends a little bit of money on some homemade fireworks. Hope him and his family have a safe 4th of July.
Yeah, really. Come on, guys. So,
but yeah, I know you get some of those big boom booms.
If you do it safely, you're okay. I get it. That's fine. Good. What else?
Well, I'll tell you what.
I
got another little survey going on. And
wow.
I don't even know. This is where the show is going to get a little adult, people.
Uh-oh.
A survey found that 1 in 10 people admit to checking their phones during sex.
How does that even work? Don't tell me. I don't want to know. How does that even work?
I can see maybe afterwards, when it's time for a cigarette.
Yeah, right. Instead of a cigarette, you check your phone. Yeah, I get that. That's the modern equivalent.
Wait a minute. I got to take a break. I need to see if I have any messages.
What, from Tinder, from your dating site? What? Come on. I love that. I'm sorry.
1 in 10 people. That's quite a few people.
Well, obviously 10%. How would that even work? I don't want to know. This is just TMI, too much information.
Now, I will admit this.
Uh-oh.
There has been times.
You're holding up a phone. I can't see anything on it. So, but anyway.
No, I mean, but I'm just holding the phone because
he's just holding the phone for dramatic effect.
There has been times.
Yes.
Because I will say this, my phone, like if you call, it says call from Bill Stevens.
Yes.
My phone says that.
Oh, cool.
Like call from, the wife. Call from.
Right.
So there's been times that the wife and I have been partaking.
Seriously?
And the phone rings and it might say like Gentry or
right. Right.
Amanda, or
Our boss, or
we're
your
going to go back
daughter.
in
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
maybe her mother.
Yeah, her mother.
So God bless her soul. But there'd be times right in the middle of the wonderful experience, the phone would ring. And in all honesty, it wouldn't be like I was wanting to go look at the phone, needing to go look at the phone. But it seems like, well, the part that you expect to do the job says, hey, I was disturbed by a phone. I think I'm going to take a little break here.
So you're saying,
I'm not saying that I checked, but it has made for a break in the action.
I see. Right. So whereas things might have been getting hot and steamy and serious, perhaps when the phone rings, that the heat gets turned down all over. Yes.
Yeah. And being the typical man, oh, we'll get it later. Oh, what if it's an emergency? Like, who cares if it's an emergency? Who cares if somebody's dying? We got to get this over with.
So we are definitely flagging this show as not safe for work. And that's okay, because I don't think a lot of people listen to BJ and Bill while they're at their job. I hope not. All right. So you actually have, I'm not going to say you're checking your phone, and yet,
but it is interrupted. Let's just
you have had phonus interruptus during sex. Yes. So
how about you?
What? Well, I was just going to say, note to self, turn phone off when, or at least put in do not disturb mode. Come on, man. It's not that hard. Do not disturb.
Well, I'm not wearing my watch at the moment, but I always have my phone on silent.
Yes.
And then my watch kind of vibrates. So I guess now.
Wait, what vibrates? Oh, your watch.
My watch.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that might actually come in handy. Here, dear, look what time it is.
Okay. Oh, we're going off the rails, but it's okay. Oh, that's awesome.
I wonder if that's the clip we should use.
What?
My son said they're making videos now of all the podcasts.
Oh.
And they're putting like pieces of the podcast in. So my son said, if you ever get like a really good 60 seconds, 2 minutes.
Right.
Send it to us and we will like splice it down and turn it into one of these videos. Maybe that's the one we should turn into a video.
BJ Odom being interrupted in a moment of passion by a phone call.
I'll do just like the Big Bang Theory during coitus.
Oh, I didn't think you'd know that word, but good.
Only because I'm a fan of the Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. Yes, there you go. That's and
I
that's
learned
not
all
the bang
sorts of smart things.
And that's not the Big Bang they're talking about. Believe me. So, oh, that's so good. So, all right. So, note to self. And maybe that's like something you can do, like a Hey Siri kind of a thing. You know, you could actually program the phone to all you have to do is, say, hey, Siri, do not disturb for the next 15 minutes. Or if it's BJ Odom's case, 5 minutes.
BJ Odom's case, the next 2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes. That's about it. That's good. So, yes. Because like you, I mean, my phone only rings when it's somebody that's in my contact list, right? You can it's called silence unknown callers. And so that way, all of these scam calls, all of these, car warranty calls and all of that stuff, it doesn't even ring. It just goes right through to the voicemail.
Now, I did that for a while.
Yeah.
But I do get calls throughout the month or year or whatever from numbers that aren't from like Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with me, like if I see a number and it's not an 813 number.
Right. Your area
and
code.
It's not on my call list, where it gives me the name.
Right.
It goes to voicemail.
Yes.
But if it's 813, I answer it because that could be. And sometimes I get screwed over because it's not. It's some warranty salesman for my car.
Right.
But, it's Tampa General.
Okay.
So 813s, I always answer. The
Because
rest
it could be coming from a different number, just from a doctor, but from a different number. Yeah.
Yeah, because they have so many lines at that place. I mean, I've noticed that I get calls from the same person, and it can
Different
be
numbers.
4 or 5. Because a lot of times I'll put, I'm going to put this in there, so if it calls, I know it's them.
Right.
All of a sudden, another 813, and it's them. It's like, well, dude, didn't see what their name was. So now I just answer all 813s.
Okay. I'll remember that. Well, my phone's not an 813, so it doesn't matter. So you're safe from me.
Now, see, but if you call, it'll say Bill Stevens.
Sure, because I'm in your contacts and all that. Sure.
I don't know if I'm going to. I don't want to tell you this, but I do want to tell you this.
Oh, I'm listening very carefully.
Do I tell you or do I tell you not?
Well, is it something you can share with the millions and millions of listeners we have?
I can.
Oh, okay.
But it could be a surprise to you, but I don't know how I'd even pull it off.
Oh.
I was thinking of a special guest.
Oh, for the show?
But you send the invitation, to the...
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, I could send you... No, you could set it up. You could absolutely positively set it up.
Just
without telling me. So you're going to set up a guest that would be a surprise for yours truly, for Bill, and then just bring them on unannounced. Right. Oh, I kind of like that. I'm open to that. But yeah, you could. I'm pretty sure that because I send you the invite to the Zoom
I could
call,
forward it to them
first thing, and then you could just forward it to them. I think you could try it. Worth a shot.
Did I tell you?
Well, you could. No, don't tell me. No, don't tell me. Let's try it and we'll see if we can make it a surprise. So,
okay, now it has to be not during our normal times that we record. So it had to be on one of your days off.
Yeah.
After 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Yeah. So,
it might even be a different time. So it might be like.
Does this person, this is like 20 questions. Does this person live in a different time zone? Are they on the
I'm
Eastern
not for
time
sure.
Zone? Oh, you're not even sure?
Let me see. Let me look at this person's email.
Okay. Well, email won't tell you a time zone, but
yeah, but it should say, let's see here.
Oh, you're going to see on their contact where they live. So don't tell me where they live, because then I might be able to guess. So don't tell, because like I knew our old friend Marty was in Arizona. So.
And I don't know where this is even.
Oh, okay.
I do have his number.
Then never mind. Well, you said his. Oh, okay.
I do have their number.
Okay, fine. So, and we're still working on getting our old friend, Manager Bill, or is that who you were talking about?
No, this isn't Manager Bill. I wasn't going to surprise you with Manager Bill.
Okay, cool.
This is another guest.
Wow.
That you would have no idea that BJ Odom could find. I had to go looking for this person.
Wow. Has this person, this is 20 questions. Has this person been on the show, on the old radio show with BJ and Bill?
No.
So, wow. Because I was thinking of our old psychic friend, Reverend Gregory.
You would have his number. I wouldn't.
Yeah. He's up in New York now because it's summer season.
Well, I didn't have this guy's number either.
Wow.
I had to.
Has never been on the show. So have we
to do some research?
Have we? I mean, but has he appeared on the show in any way, shape, or form, like a phone call? No. Wow. Okay.
Boy, I have never seen Bill Stevens this baffled,
puzzled
in my life.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm an investigator. I'm a whatever. This is a whole different topic, maybe for another day, but I took the generic equivalent of the Myers-Briggs personality test this week. Because somebody had asked about it on one of the dating sites. And I found out what kind of personality I am. And I am a logician. I deal in logic, which is not too surprising. I could have guessed that, but it was fun. It was a good, insightful thing. So anyway, I'm trying to logic out who it might be that we've never had on the program, but somebody I would know. Wow. That's weird and cool. So make it happen. Make it happen.
I'll have to find out when this person is available.
Right.
Then we'll have to do it on a day that you have off.
Yes.
And we'll have to arrange to do it at a later time than we normally record.
And that's okay. Except for this week where and we're already recording the podcast for this week because this week, as I mentioned, I am slammed with the pizza delivery stuff. So there you go.
I shouldn't even talk about this one.
Well, then no, don't. I mean, no.
I just don't want you to. I don't want you to be alarmed or scared.
Well, I think I'm not going to be scared because nobody's reaching through the computer screen at this point. We haven't come to that level of technology yet.
And there's a little story I have for you.
Oh, okay.
Over 5,300 USPS mail couriers were attacked by dogs last year. Don't know what that relates to pizza delivery, guys. I'm just telling you, the guy who brings you your package. 5,300 of them.
Probably that many.
Seems like a pretty good number.
Probably that many pizza delivery guys nationwide too. I mean, when you think about all the pizza chains and all the delivery drivers they have, I'm sure there's more pizza delivery guys in Gainesville, Florida than there are mail carriers. So yeah, now I will say that when I hear like a dog like that, like if it's a fenced yard or something, I am not going in there. I am not. But sometimes I also worry, like when I'll knock at a door and you'll hear a dog bark and you're like, oh, you better keep him under control or whatever. But so, yeah. But of course, the ones that you really worry about are the ones that don't make any noise. The ones that are standing there next to the owner as he or she opens the door. And it's like the dog's giving you the look like, go ahead, make my day. So, yeah. Yeah. It's, whatever. I mean, I'm pretty careful with that. I'm not super careful with that, but I'm pretty careful with that. So, whatever. What are you going to do?
When I was younger, I wasn't afraid of dogs at all.
I'm not really.
But
nowadays you are.
My brother, my dad, my uncles, and my cousins, a lot of them delivered like fertilizer to farms. Mm-hmm. And farms is where you really find some mean dogs. And I know they've all been bitten a few times.
Well, I'm not going to say
I got another little trivia question here for you.
Okay, one more to wrap up the day.
While people do die from drowning,
right,
falls,
right,
and animal attacks.
Speaking of dog bites,
at national parks. What's the top reason for death at a national park?
At a national park. Well, it's the same. I'll bet you. Now I won't bet you. I'm gonna guess that it's the same cause of death pretty much anywhere else in America. Auto accident.
No.
Oh, wah.
You do not win the prize.
I do not win the prize. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Now think about this. It's not from drowning.
No.
Not from falls.
No, because those are dramatic and they make headlines, but they don't happen a lot.
And animal attacks.
No, that doesn't happen hardly at all.
So what's the top reason for death in a national?
And it's not a car accident.
Well, not a lot of. Well, I guess you'd still be driving. Yeah, if you were in the Smokies, that's a national park. You'd be driving around the curvy roads.
Oh my gosh, so many, and I'm just thinking about these campgrounds that are full of crazy people, having a little too much to drink or whatever, or smoke or whatever. So, but it's not car accidents, and it's like you said, not drowning, not falling off the cliff, not getting attacked by a hungry bear or whatever. So I don't know. You're going to stump me on this one. I have no idea.
I'm trying to think of another hint I could give you, but I'll just give it to you. I bet you there's people out there right now screaming at their phones or wherever they're listening to their podcast saying that they think they have the answer.
Okay. Give it. Can you give a hint or no?
And when I say it, you're going to go, oh yeah.
Oh boy. One of those. What's that?
Heart attacks.
Heart attack. Is the leading cause of death in national parks.
Well, a lot of national parks, you do hiking, you do trails, you do mountain climbing.
So you're saying if I am hiking hard and I have a heart attack, that doesn't count as falling down or falling off a cliff. If you're saying that the bear chases me and I have a heart attack, that's
well, it doesn't get that specific here on the trivia question that I have.
I hear you. So Mr. Heart Transplant, I would avoid national parks if I were you.
Just think about 3 weeks ago, I went to the national park.
Oh my God, you could have been a statistic.
I know.
Heart attack, is that because it's all old people or what? I don't.
It might have been a state park though. I went to Lake Louisa.
You're safe in the state parks. It's those national parks you got to watch out for. They're the dangerous ones.
I don't know. Next time I drive by, I got to look if it's a national or a state park.
Probably a state park. There aren't.
Lake Louisa. It's a really good. It's a big park. You can horseback ride and all sorts of things.
Cool. But there aren't many national parks in Florida. I mean, there's the Everglades. And I don't know what else. All right, so now don't make me go to Google. Damn it!
You know what I would hate to like. I love the Everglades.
Yep.
But man, I don't know if I would want to go out in the Everglades. Not only because of alligators and python snakes,
right?
But one time I was doing a show on the other coast,
right?
And it was in southern Miami, so I took US 41. I thought, hey,
right.
Let me just take 41 instead of Alligator Alley.
Right.
I was about halfway there and I had to whiz like you've never had to whiz before. I mean, I was even singing the song. Oh, if ever there was a whiz, a whiz.
If ever was a whiz. Yeah.
Well, I got out to whiz and I mean, I did it quickly. It wasn't like a long whiz. It was like in and out. I'll bet you by the time I got back into the car, I had 100 mosquito bites.
I'll bet you did. All right, so 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. So to answer my own question, there are actually 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 national parks in Florida. I didn't know that. And some of them I would not have guessed about that, including DeSoto National Park in Tampa Bay. Castillo de San Marcos is in St. Augustine, Dry Tortugas, Canaveral National Shores, Biscayne, Grand Cypress, Everglades, Fort Caroline. I don't know where that is. Fort Matanzas in St. Augustine, Gulf Islands National Seashore. That looks also like St. Augustine. Don't know it. And a couple others. So there you go. So who knew? Boy, what an educational show today, folks. What an educational show.
Well, yeah, your travel guides.
Yes. Join us each and every week for Rick Steves in Europe or whatever that guy is on PBS, whatever. So yeah, cool. All right. So wherever you are, avoid those national parks on this holiday week and don't have a heart attack. And be careful with fireworks. Boy, there's so much to think about this week. So much to keep in mind, BJ Odom. What am I going to have to start taking a note here?
There's a lot of dangers out there, folks.
It is. Big bad world. No, it's not.
Just don't let your phone ring during sex. That's all I'm saying.
And that is what we call a callback. And a good one at that. All right. So, yes. Whew. Maybe if you have sex in a national park and you have a heart, never mind. It's just there's too many complications there. It's starting to freak me out a little bit. All right. That's going to do it for this week. Wow. The time flew by. We just yakking off about stuff here. Somebody asked me that. I get asked that often. I don't know if you get asked that by people when you tell them you do a podcast and people will say, oh, you do a podcast. What do you talk about? And I'm like, whatever the hell we want. And it makes no sense, but it's fun for two old men who like to rant about stuff. So there you go.
You know, I would really love to know I talked to some people who used to listen to the radio show.
Right.
And they say it's great nostalgic for them. It's like back in the day when they listened to the BJ and Bill show.
Sure.
But I wonder about the person who's never heard of BJ and Bill and just happened to stumble on to our podcast because of a promotion or a commercial that is out there in the world on Facebook or Google.
Or the podcast playground. Yes.
And they start to listen and they go, this is different.
It's not Joe Rogan different. It's not Pete Davidson different, but it's different. Yes. So I would find that hard to, there must be somewhere, but you're right. I find it hard to imagine that somebody could discover us not having heard us 20 years ago and go, that's cool.
This is
I'm
great.
Gonna listen. I'm going to subscribe. Really? Wow.
Hey, we better not talk this way. They might be listening to
we
the
want
podcast
folks,
playground, and we might get canceled after this.
If you are subscribed to this show, if you are following, of course, on your iPhone, now you don't subscribe anymore. You follow, quote unquote, you follow a program. So please feel free to follow BJ and Bill on your computer, on your phone, on your iPad, wherever it is you get your podcast, because we love you and we appreciate it, no matter what. No matter if you're an old listener, a new listener, we don't care. Stick around. We're going to have some fun.
I have a quick fact, but
one quick fact. Okay, and then we got to go.
It has to do with how we make money here.
Oh,
on the podcast.
Oh,
I don't know if I should share with our listeners or not.
Try me.
We get better money, I guess, when we're played either on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Somehow
really?
Our commercials are worth more money.
Really? All right. So if you're listening to us somewhere else, go to your iPhone. If you have an iPhone or an iPad or a Mac computer, it's really a no-brainer, because it really is easier too on your iPhone or your iPad or your Mac computer, and go to the podcasts app, look for BJ and Bill the podcast, and then hit that little plus sign, the little follow button, and that will help us a lot. So we appreciate that.
If you really like the show too, if you really like the show, people, just go back to episode 1 and listen to all 44 this weekend. That'd be a great week. Some weekends have, this is an oldies weekend. We're throwing them back. Well, we're throwing them back. Listen to all 44 podcasts.
Wow. I think I'd rather have open heart surgery or root canal or something. But no, that's great. It's great. Go do it. Go do it. Absolutely. It'd be like binging. It's like, I'm going to watch every episode of Friends start to back on, Netflix or whatever. Make it a BJ and Bill Netflix streaming binging week for you. Love that. Love that. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what you do, no matter what you stream or binge or whatever, be safe out there. And we will talk to you again next week. But right now it's just up to PJ Odom to say,
see ya!